Chapter 6 Quadraplicities and Triplicities. The signs of the zodiac are divided into quadraplicities and triplicities. The quadraplicities are aspects of force manifesting in matter. There are three basic modes of energy, and there are four signs in each division. This may be illustrated by the properties of water. In its normal state, it is called liquid. When crystallized and frozen, it is ice. And in a vaporized state, it is called steam. It is the same force manifested through three different forms. It is the signs that the planets are in that determine the quadraplicities and triplicities. Every force belongs to one of three categories: active, dynamic, or cardinal; latent, stable, or fixed; harmonizing, adaptable, or mutable. It is necessary to memorize this division of signs. The whole foundation of astrological knowledge depends on the memory work done on the material in the first 10 chapters. If you visualize the signs in this manner, it will be easier to memorize them. From this division, we get the squares, obstacles, and oppositions in the birth chart. For instance, a planet in Gemini is discordant to any planet in Virgo or Pisces. Any planet in Aries is opposed to any planet in Libra. By counting the planets in the cardinal, fixed, or mutable signs, one learns in which element the emphasis lies. The person with many planets in fixed signs will respond to life differently to one with many planets in mutable or cardinal signs. Cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These signs mark the return of the seasons. Aries begins the astrological year on March 21st. Cancer begins the summer season. Libra the beginning of the fall equinox, and Capricorn marks the beginning of winter. With many planets in cardinal signs, the key word is activity. Action is fast, objective, direct, and to the point, often too impulsive and impatient. Cardinal sign planets heighten activity and speed and lend executive ability. They give energy and strong ambition. They are the go-getters of the zodiac. They like to meet an issue, solve it, and go on to something else. They have the best temperament equipped to meet the immediate situation. Cardinal signs shoot first and argue afterwards. The key word of cardinal signs is creativity, for it is the outgoing driving force of the universe in which the power to create expresses itself. All the cardinal signs are self-assertive, but in different ways. Aries is direct and uncomplicated, outgoing energy. Cancer is less direct, but is more subjective and assertive on the emotional level. Libra is self-assertive on the mind level, and their drive needs unprejudiced activity where others are concerned. Capricorn is the most materially oriented of the cardinal signs, and his activity is directed towards social prestige and importance in the outer world. Squares and oppositions in cardinal signs are faults and unlearned lessons of the previous life. They can be changed by constructive action, and if handled rightly, will not manifest as fixed signs at a later time. Fixed signs. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The fixed signs manifest as will. They follow the cardinal signs. They are the most consistent and persistent of the signs. They are reticent and non-committal on first approach. The force in fixed signs becomes a quiet, organizing force. Fixed signs indicate action motivated by principles. They are unswervingly stubborn and will not deviate from a set path unless they want to do so. They are the planners, the formula makers, the constructors. The fixed signs are the most difficult to describe, for their basic motivations are seldom obvious, and they do not reveal them willingly. They are the reservoirs of energy or power. They have a definite pattern and resist all outer interference that will alter it. The four fixed signs are power signs. They are called the serpent signs of the zodiac. In Taurus, it is latent power. The serpent is coiled up energy. In Leo, it is active power, and the forces are active. In Scorpio, the power has gone underground and is far more subtle and deadly if misused. In Aquarius, the higher serpent of wisdom is reflected in the earthly serpent force. Adverse aspects in fixed signs represent the harmful effects of self-will. These aspects are the hardest with which to deal, for they represent the lessons we have failed to learn over many lifetimes, and are deeply ingrained patterns of behavior. They need a great deal of attention and self discipline in order to divert the energy channels into constructive ones. There is an ancient aphorism that involves the four fixed signs, for they are agents of karma. Karma is an Eastern word for the law of cause and effect in action. Taurus, to do; Leo, to dare; Scorpio, to be silent; Aquarius, to know. The disciple has to build in his nature the qualities of action, courage, silence, and knowledge. Mutable signs. The key word for the mutable signs Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces is flexibility. There is a pliability and adaptability to circumstances that make them easygoing, tolerant, and free flowing. Their interests are centered in direct and highly personal relationships with people. They are great joiners and are interested in all the minute details of personal living. Mutable signs will take others into their private universes on all occasions. Many mutable signs in a chart makes good reporters, for their all over the lotness adds grist to the mill. They meet one deadline only to face another. They are good imitators and give things a new slant and a new angle. The versatile quality of a mutable sign type can lead him up too many alleys, and he has to watch the tendency to scatter his forces. On the undeveloped side, the individual with too many planets in mutable signs can be the drifter, the rolling stone that gathers no moss. There is a changeableness, a lack of persistence and strength of will. Outside conditions dominate them, for they lack the stability to assert their own individuality. Squares and oppositions in mutable signs are the easiest to handle, for they are just beginning to manifest. They can be handled by the right attitudes of mind. If a person has many planets in mutable signs or has them on the angles of the birth chart, one needs to use caution and discretion in counseling them. They are prone to negativity and worry and are apt to exaggerate anything of a negative nature. They are far more open to suggestion than the cardinal and fixed types. Cardinal signs, interested in crisis and activity and what is going on. Fixed signs, interested in values and ideas. Mutable signs, interested in people and relationships. The quadruplicities show how the person is oriented toward the world without. We are what we are. If we can use this energy, then it is an asset. If we can't, it's a liability. With no fixed signs in a chart, you would not head a person into a field where imaginative or speculative matters are of concern. You would not sit a person down at a desk for 8 hours if he had too many mutable signs. He would be a nervous wreck, for he has to move around. The person with too many planets and cardinal signs would apt to rush in where angels fear to tread. Astrology helps you understand why round pegs and square holes won't work. There are four elements known as fire, water, air, and earth, in which the signs are divided. Planets that are in orb in one of these elements form points in a trinity of harmonizing forces of the same nature. Such planetary aspects represent the virtues that the soul has attained and has brought over with him to help meet the problems presented by the aspects in the quadruplicities. They are tools with which he may do his work. They are there ready for use. Fire and air signs are positive, masculine in expression, and represent the individuality in contradistinction to the earth and water signs that are feminine and receptive and represent the personality side of our nature. Fire. Fire signs represent energy and enthusiasm. The keynote for the fire signs is inspiration. Fire signs represent the spiritual side of our natures, and they have a joy of living that is native to those born with planets in these signs. They are forceful, ardent, and apt to be extremely impulsive. The first fire sign is Aries, the fire of the head, the untamed fire of impulse, ardor, and emotion, the fire of personality, as it were. It is a cardinal sign. The second fire sign is Leo, the fire of the heart, the steady, controlled fire of affection. It is a fixed sign. The third fire sign is Sagittarius. It is a mutable sign and represents the fire of wisdom and understanding. Those with an emphasis of planets and fire signs are those who are direct and outgoing, and they pour the fire of self into an active livingness. Air. The air trinity represents the mental plane and has a great deal to do with relationships. The air signs are the knowledge gatherers who work through the intellect and intuition. The keynote for the air signs is aspiration. The first air sign, Gemini, represents the intellect. When the gates to the temple of wisdom are open, the wisdom which is Gemini's as a mutable sign becomes available. Gemini symbolically represents the light, changeable breezes of late spring, the gathering and the scattering of knowledge. Libra, the second air sign, represents the great line storms and high winds followed by calm. It is a balanced wisdom gained through suffering and experience, and it is the sign of active intelligence or judgment. It is a cardinal sign. The fixed air sign, Aquarius, represents the intuition made constant to the use of will and is the sign of inspiration. It is symbolized by the cold electric air of winter. The air signs are positive and creative. Water. Water signs are plastic, unstable, reflective, responsive, and fertile. The key word for the water signs is emotion, for water has to do with our emotional vehicles and the astral level of expression. The first water sign is Cancer, the sign of the cosmic mother who nourishes all humanity at her breast. It is the sign of the human family. Active, living, vital fertility is the cardinal sign of Cancer. Scorpio, the fixed water sign, represents the control and mastery of the emotional nature through loving will. Pisces, the mutable water sign, represents the wise use of the emotional nature and compassionate understanding. Among the water trinity, Cancer symbolizes the ocean, the cosmic mother, restless, tossing waves of emotion. Scorpio is the stagnant waters of the marshes, unhealthy and hidden things which must be brought to the light and transmuted. Pisces symbolizes clear rivers and streams, which, when free from surface disturbances, reflect that which is above. Earth. Earth signs are physical and have to do with purely material affairs. They are the practical and stolid signs and represent the earthly field in which the personality is planted. The key note for the earth signs is practicality. Taurus, the first earth sign, is a fixed sign and represents endless patience and routine and the loving willingness to build slowly but for eternity. Virgo, the mutable sign, shows practical efficiency in little things. They have endless patience where details are concerned. Capricorn, the cardinal earth sign, represents responsibilities, persistence, and authority in practical matters, initiative, and common sense. Fire signs. Aries, the originator. Leo, the organizer. Sagittarius, the executive. Air signs. Gemini, the friendly one. Libra, the diplomat. Aquarius, the individualist. Water signs. Cancer, the insistent. Scorpio, the passionate. Pisces, the compassionate. Earth signs. Taurus, the concentrator. Virgo, the discriminator. Capricorn, the practical idealist. It is through planets in the same element that harmony prevails. Two fire signs are in harmony with each other, two water signs, etc. They have the same nature, so there is a basic understanding between them. Their divisions must be memorized, for they are extremely important. In a chart, if the preponderance of planets are in water signs, the lessons for that individual lie in the field of relationships. If there are many planets in earth signs, the person puts too much emphasis on material things, and he has to attain a truer sense of values. If there are too many planets in fire signs, the person is apt to act before he thinks, and has to learn to subject his impulses to his will and common sense before he acts. If there are too many planets in air signs, the person is too much in the plane of ideas and mind and has to learn to root his ideas through activity on the outer levels. He must learn in the real issues of life that it is never head to head, but heart to heart. The four triplicities correspond to the four psychological functions in the Jungian school of thought. Intuition, fire. Thinking, air. Feeling, water. Sensation, earth. Fire and air are positive in expression. They motivate. Earth and water are passive and receptive. They sustain. Fire and air signs are masculine. Earth and water signs are feminine.